discussion yesterday. We're not really tanking Jaguars. Traded Yannick Ngakoue to the Vikings for a couple of picks now. And Ngakoue joins a pretty stacked defense with safeties Harrison Smith and Anthony Harris, outstanding. Linebackers Eric Kendricks, Anthony Barr as well, who almost left him last year. And Russia and Danielle Hunter. They've got a combined 12 Pro Bowls between them. So they've got a shot to be really special on defense. In or out. Largely based on that defense, the Vikings are a legit Super Bowl contender this season. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, of course they are. They get into the postseason every year, BT. They win a game, and so all it's going to take is, you know, some big-time moments happening, mostly on the arm and the decision-making of Kirk Cousins. But we know how this offense is going to run. It's going to go through Dalvin Cook, who is as dynamic a running back as there is in the National Football League. And as long as they are healthy and sound defensively, as Mike Zimmer's teams always are, of course they have a chance. And that's the beauty of the NFL. If you get there and you are well positioned health wise, then you have a chance. Doesn't matter, you know, what your regular season, you know, look like.
Yep. I agree with you, T. My answer is inbounds too. Now I don't think that they'll get there, and obviously I don't think that they'll win it. But you know, to be fair, if you've got, you know, a real chance to win the division, and they are the best team in top to bottom in that division, then you've got a puncher's chance to win the Super Bowl, or at least get there, I should say. You know, there's a couple of divisions where I can see the winner eking out, you know, maybe a 9-7 record. Like, I don't know, although I do like the Titans. I don't love them enough to say that they'll definitely win double figures. I could see maybe the AFC South winner is 9-7. Maybe the AFC East, depending upon how you view, you know, where are the Bills really ready? Are the Pats really taking the step back that I think that they are? Maybe that division produces a 9-win team. But you know the Ravens are going to win a ton of games, probably the Steelers as well, maybe even the Browns. I mean, that's going to have a lot of wins. And I look at the NFC South. I think one team's going to emerge with double figures there. You got to love Seattle, and you got to love the Niners. I also like the Cardinals out west in the NFC. So I think that they'll be in that, you know, 10-6, maybe even 11-5, probably more 11-5 window. But I need to see a little bit more from that quarterback, somebody you and I have debated for a long time. I like Kirk. I don't love him. I don't fully trust him. That Niners playoff loss last year, not saying it's all on him, but the disparity in talent, there was a shellacking. I mean, that was a professional ass whooping. After a while, they couldn't get a first down. So I'm going to say inbounds with a little asterisk. Yeah, but they've got a chance, yes. All eyes on Zion Williamson. They have been, really, since he went, really, even before Duke, he had this ridiculous YouTube following. But he's doing his thing down in New Orleans. But former number 2 overall pick, Brandon Ingram, who still hasn't put on a whole lot of weight, but he's put on a lot of game, and he's turning some heads. Now the former Blue Devil star was named the 2020 NBA Most Improved Player, as he went from 18 to nearly 24, so he jumped up 6 points per game, and his PER jumped about 5 points in the process as well. In or out, Brandon Ingram is a legit number 2 to Zion.
I mean, if you're going to say number 2 as in one of the elite players in basketball, you got to say out of bounds, BT, because think about what we're talking about. When you say legit number 2, I'm thinking Anthony Davis to LeBron James, or even, you know, former MVP and Russell Westbrook to James Harden type of conversation.
That's a short list, though, Teak.
It is very
short list.
But am I putting him there yet? Not yet. Maybe he's Chris Middleton to Giannis, but I can't say that he's you know, that elite player that if it had to fall on him because Zion's having a bad day, that he's going to, you know, I don't know, carry them. I haven't seen it enough yet. I saw it a lot this year.
Yep.
So maybe he's coming there, but I can't say he's there yet. So I'm say out of bounds.
It's a sensible answer. It's a pragmatic approach. But I'm going to disagree. I'm going to say inbounds. Even though as I look at the duos here, and I'm kind of jumping around, obviously a healthy Stephen Clay.
Yep.
You know, you want to give me Kawhi and Paul George, even though George fluctuates all the time. Obviously LeBron and AD, you said that. Luka, but obviously KP's got to stay healthy. Mm-hmm. Who else here? You know what?
Killed them. KP killed them in the post.
He did. He killed them by first getting the second tech in game one and getting booted. They would have won the game. Denver, you want to give me Jokic and Jamal Murray? I'll take that. I can't quite go McCollum as that number 2 to Dame. He's just a tick below it for me. Looking around here, you mentioned Middleton. I would say Kemba to Tatum. Irving to Durant once he gets healthy. I'm going to say inbounds, though, but it's funny. When I read the question, I'm like, I don't know, I might have to flip the order. Are we sure that he's going to be the second best player on that team? I think, and I was not sold on Ingram.
Yeah.
I was not, but he has grown.
He really has. Except he hasn't put on any weight.
No, he hasn't.
Right.
He has. He's going to have one of those Kevin Durant bodies, which is great because when you're 60, you look like you're 35. I think that what happens nowadays with these draft picks is that if they're not drafted to the right situation right away, and they don't reward, like Ingram did not reward the Lakers immediately. Mm-hmm. And there's like, did you pick the right guy? Is this guy a bust? Is he overrated? And then he gets dealt to a team that nobody's watching pre-Zion, and he grows a little bit, and you kind of notice, but not really. And then all of a sudden, bang, he pops. And I think people are reluctant to take that jump from where they were almost predisposed to label a little bit of a disappointment. Brandon Ingram is better than I thought. I think I was wrong on him. And I do believe he could be a legit number 2, if not even maybe better than Zion in bounce. So we had the trade deadline yesterday. Many of the top contenders like the Astros and the Braves, Tampa, the White Sox, Yanks, fairly quiet. However, the big, bold, freewheeling, high-spending Padres made a big splash. They're going for it. Great unis and all. Adding top rotation pitcher Mike Clevenger. You got to like that. A couple of quality catchers. That was a big issue for him. A new DH, Mitch Moreland, who could also play first base if he has to. If you want to give Hosmer a day off and let him DH, and a variety of bullpen arms. So, flurry of activity, all without giving up any top prospects. So, they were savvy. The Padres were already 8th in payroll, largely because of Manny's big deal and Hosmer's, before the moves, despite being the 26th largest market in baseball. So, it's an interesting question here. Do we believe the Padres can sustain long-term success despite being in a small market, in or out?
This is a tough one, BT, because when I think about the Padres, they are probably the most exciting team in baseball right now because of Tatis, who we've talked about as one of the young great superstars in baseball. Manny Machado's there, as is Eric Hosmer, who was signed a couple of years ago, and you know that they're going for it. I mean, that's why you go get Mike Clevenger at the trade deadline. But as long as they're in the shadow of the LA Dodgers, who are just dominant, long-term success is relative, so they'll be in the conversation. But until they can consistently take this division, I can't say that I can't. So I'm going to say out of bounds.
I'm going to say inbounds here. And you know why? A lot of the reason is, now they might, I would imagine that at some point they will. They'll probably preemptively do and address Tatis's contract like the Braves did with Acuna, who gave him over $100 million, Ronald Acuna. Hosmer can opt out after the 2022 season. He'll be 32.
I say, what is he? Yeah, 32.
He'll be 32 at that point. He's only 30 now. He's not going to get big money down the stretch. But what I didn't even realize, and I'm looking at it now, the back end of that Padres contract actually goes down. So he's at $21 million for the first 4 years, and then it goes down to 13.
Oh, wow.
Which is really manageable for a great clubhouse guy, a pretty clutch guy, and a great fielding first baseman. So Deion Sanders wants to become a college football coach, with some even linking him to the job at his alma mater, Florida State. Now, after FCS school Jackson State fired their head coach John Hendrick yesterday, reports say Deion's a top candidate to take over the Tigers. The HBC school's in the SWAC, but hasn't finished above 500 since 2013 and already has canceled their 2020 season. In or out, Jackson State's the right fit for Sanders to get going as a coach.
I'm going to say out of bounds, BT. I think that is as impactful as that would be for Deion Sanders to go to an historically black college. I think it would be the wrong move for him, because when he decides to go to the college ranks, it's going to have a significant impact on recruiting. I think he should do that at a place that can immediately bring dividends nationally. No disrespect to historically black colleges, but I think Deion will look for a bigger jump than that.
I'd like to see him do it. I think he needs the seasoning. And I'd like to see him do it now because, as I said, they canceled so my answer is inbounds. They canceled their season, so there's this whole a year in essence to, maybe pull the few kids that are slipping through the cracks that were under recruited, but also for him to really get his footing as a coach where he can, build the staff and he can incorporate an off-season regimen. Listen, he's Deion Sanders. He's not going to get lost at Jackson State. Whenever he wants to jump to a bigger job, he's going to be able to jump. I just think it's a lower profile, but I don't mean a low. It's a lower level of pressure where he can get the same necessary on-the-job training, and then he can jump.
I like Deion, though, man.
I understand that.
Pressure. He thrives in it.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell to be notified when we drop fresh content.